Hi, everybody. Welcome to a Friday episode of Weather Weenies, which will bring you through the last weekend in June. That seems crazy to say. To me, at least, this month flew by. I know they always seem to do that in the summertime, but it's been quite a month of weather, which we'll chat about in a moment. Depending on when you're watching this, storms are probably over. But Friday afternoon, we got a decent amount of sunshine in parts of southern Maine after the morning rain and into parts of Vermont and New Hampshire, too. The rain we had Friday morning was with a warm front that lifted through, and as we were talking about, we get this break, and then it would be all about whether or not we can pop up some storms. We have been able to do that, and you can obviously check in on our website for the very latest, because this you're probably watching back on replay. But the Weather Service did issue a severe thunderstorm watch that included York County until 9 o'clock on Friday evening, simply because some of these storms could produce some damaging wind gusts and hail if they hold together. But if you've watched this show plenty of times, I'm sure you've heard us discuss wind direction is everything, particularly for early summer storms in Maine. And we have a wind that's coming in out of the southeast, temps 60s to near 70. And that acts as kind of a stabilizing mechanism for these storms. Storms like to breed off warm and humid air. And when they encounter that marine layer, so to speak, with air coming in off the Gulf of Maine, they tend to weaken. So we'll see how this evolves as we go through the evening. But the Weather Service did issue a level 2 out of 5 risk for severe weather in kind of the corridor where most of those storms travel, central Vermont down into southern and central New Hampshire and just a part of York County. So we'll see how that pans out. Obviously, by the time you're watching this, you will know. But what I do want to point out is that after any showers and storms go by this evening, it'll be kind of sticky overnight, dew points upper 50s to around 60. And it looks like both Saturday morning and Sunday morning, we may start the day with some fog that can be dense, particularly near the coastline. But it looks like that fog bank should at least thin some, so we turn partly sunny both days. And we don't have high pressure fully overhead this weekend. That's part of the reason why the fog may be an issue. And additionally, we'll develop some clouds both afternoons with a chance for a passing shower. I don't really see it being a big deal, but you might catch a shower both Saturday afternoon and on Sunday afternoon too. We'll play it into Sunday here. And again, notice all the gray near the coastline in the morning and even some green out in the Gulf of Maine. That would be indicating the fog bank that may come back and forth onshore a little bit, but it should retreat. And Sunday looks a little bit warmer. I think we make a run into the mid and upper 70s. Some places inland could touch 80. And again, a pop-up shower or storm possible on Sunday. Seems to me Sunday is a little bit more favored in eastern and northern Maine, whereas Saturday it could be just kind of random anywhere. I'm not concerned about anything other than, maybe a little lightning and a downpour. There could be some very tiny hail, as we discussed earlier this week, but it's not a huge concern. So all in all, it's a pretty good weekend. The only reason why we have the shower chance still in the forecast, if I can pull up our future fronts that Todd did this morning, I'll be able to show you. Where'd it go? Here it is. So this frontal system goes by, but high pressure is pretty far to the west. It's out over the Great Lakes. If that were closer over the weekend, we'd have very little risk for showers, but it looks like it moves overhead on Monday, and that looks like a really nice day with sunshine and temps in the low to mid 80s. We've talked a couple of times on here and then also in some of the weathercasts this week in our newscasts about how there is going to be a lot of heat building in the midsection of the country next week. It really starts on Monday out there. And this is sometimes what's referred to as a heat dome because you have a big ridge of high pressure and that ridge pushes hot air north and as a result, the jet stream north too. At least Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it looks like we are to the east of the core of the heat. There have been some signs, though, in some of the models in the last day and a half or so, that maybe we actually get into some of this heat around Thursday. Certainly aloft, it looks like we'll get into that warm air. It'll just be a matter of how much sun. Do we see any pop-up storms? Those could affect the temperatures. But it looks increasingly humid and likely hot for at least a day or two at the end of next week. It looks to me like Thursday, maybe Friday. Sorry, are you guys talking to me? Oh, sorry. All right, my bad. Just John downstairs in the control room keeping me on time here. So anyway, that heat probably makes it in to some extent middle of next week, and it will come with higher humidity too. The dew point values on some of the models around like the Thursday timeframe get to about 70, which is pretty humid stuff. So just for an example, this is one of our computer models just out through the next 5 days, and you see it's more humid certainly Tuesday, Wednesday, but we may really crank it up more so on Thursday. The other issue with a big ridge of high pressure like this, when it's not near you or over you, and the jet stream's positioned like this, we often get little clusters of showers and storms that ride along this ridge. It's sometimes called the ring of fire too. Around it you get these rounds of convection, which could be dying storms or showers, and some of these will cross over us next week. Now, the placement of them 5, 6, 7 days out is always challenging. Is it more in Vermont? Is it more over Maine? But we've got chances for some thunderstorms in the forecast next week. I think it was Dana here yesterday who said this is one of those patterns, though, where some places in the state may go all 7 days without rain, while other places that just get hit a few times get into more of those storms. So we'll see how that plays out. I've got a chance for a shower or storm on Tuesday. It looks like some of that energy will come through then. Then probably dry on Wednesday. We may be battling some clouds, but it looks muggy on Wednesday. And then Thursday, Friday is the opportunity to get into what looks like the hot stuff, 90 plus, particularly inland. But even at the coast on Thursday, we could hit 90, I think. And Friday just kind of depends on where that ridge is and whether or not we're still kind of in it by that point in time. I want to see if I can just pull up quickly. This is one of our computer models. I'm not sure how far out this will go, but yeah, you can see the ridge builds in middle of the week. And long range, it looks like it may retreat a little bit over the 4th weekend. So we might shut the real heat off. May still be warm, but we'll probably lose in the 90s in time for the 4th. You can see how this kind of bubbles in, the hot colors indicating higher heights at the 500 millibar level, which equates to hotter air, essentially. But they kind of retreat a little bit heading into the 4th of July itself. So it looks like the window for the hot stuff would be late next week. So as we get closer to that, we will be able to kind of analyze, how hot, how humid, how long, those things. But the signals are pretty good that we at least get into some of that end of next week. So we usually aim for 10 minutes here, but I might have to cut it a little short just given some of these storms that have popped up. And this is as of 3:35. At the moment, none of them are super concerning to me. There is this cluster in Vermont, and this area here, as it comes into New Hampshire, almost all of the high-res computer models keep it going. But most of the action west of Maine through Friday evening. We've just got a couple clusters of non-severe storms as of this recording up in the mountains. All right, weatherweenies@newscentermaine.com is the email. If you've got questions, send them our way. I've got a little time off next week, so I will see you later. In the meantime, Dana, Christian, Alan, they'll all be here, and they will have you covered. So if I don't see you, happy 4th, and if you're like me and you like the hot weather, you got some coming probably late next week. Take care.